What's up, guys? Now Fungible Bros here, EJ and Freddie. It is January 14th, Friday at 3 o'clock, and we're here to bring you some weekend news and just the overall news on what's been going on with VeVe over the last couple of days. Me and EJ have been very excited to kind of share this stuff with you, and we're just going to chop it up and talk about what we've seen. We wish you guys a happy new year and hope everything's been going well. I unfortunately was sick the last few days, so I haven't been able to give you content with EJ, and I'm very sorry about that. But going forward, we will be obviously dropping some new videos on the new things upcoming and what has actually been happening. And it's really been insane what's happened to start off 2022. Wasn't that right, EJ?
We got pumps for the last week and a half. I love it personally. My portfolio has been growing like crazy. I finally hit the six-figure number. I'm very excited about that. I've made some pickups. January 8th, January 9th, January 13th, and January 14th. Right before the pump started, and obviously in the middle of the pump today and yesterday. So I wanted to talk about that. January 8th, I picked up a Jason Fabak Batman and a Darwin Cook Batman. I got my numbers here. Paid $360 for the Jason and $133 for the Darwin, and they went up to $654 and $260 presently. I was just looking at the prices. January 9th, the number 71 Batman I copped for $250. It's at $330 now. The number 71 Batman is from the artist Carmine Infantino, who actually created the first Robin NFT. So if you want to have that like little set, even though it's not the same set. The Gary Frank Batman, I copped that for $275. It's at $400 now. That was January 8th and 9th. And then January 13th, I picked up a Hawk Girl for $384. It's currently sitting at $444. A Buttercup and Blossom, both from the Powerpuff Girls set. One for $319, one for $269, and they're both up $100 a piece. The Alligator Loki Ultra Rare that I was telling you about earlier, Freddie. I wanted to get it for $190. I wanted to buy the floor out actually at $190, but I just didn't have the money and the gems at the time, and ended up picking it up a little. It was a little pricey at $345. It's sitting at $378 now. I think it'll be going up soon. There's only 3,400 editions of that, so take a look at that for everyone watching. I transferred my mom's Common Groot to my account so I could have the whole set. She was a little pissed at me.
You're crazy.
I got it for her on the rebound, so it is what it is. And then I picked up the Uncommon Groot for $49. It's currently sitting at $60. And that was yesterday. And then today at work, because I'm nuts and I have nothing better to do, on my off time, I saw the Mayor of Townsville and the Mojo Jojo. One was a low mint Mayor of Townsville for $939, and I felt like I had to pick that up, and I had to pick up the Mojo Jojo for $505 just to complete the set. That's a season 1 VeVe set. So from January 8th to today, I've spent $3,700 plus the tax. So we'll call it $4,000. And the value of everything that I've purchased since then is now a little over $4,800. So they were good pickups, and I think they'll multiply drastically in the future. So,
well, yeah, we talked about in our last couple of videos, kind of going back to December, just the significance of the Batman and the significance of being season 1, or just the overall, how do I explain it? The first NFTs to come out on VeVe, which was really important, really, really important. So I know that, like you said, the Powerpuff Girls was part of the first season. The Batman was, I think, the first season to ever come out on VeVe, if I'm correct, right?
The original Batman season 1 set was the first set to drop on VeVe.
Right, yeah. Correct. So you're talking about that. And then I think that what happened over the last week and a half was we saw all these people start to realize and pick up on what you've been picking up on for the last few months. You've known about Batman since September. You've been telling me at least about Batman since September, about what the significance was. And we saw it specifically in the Rizzo Batman, which if you can touch a little bit on that, and then especially with the Becky Cloonan, going into that a little bit in depth too.
Well, I just think that people realize that the Rizzo is, in my opinion, it's a blue chip. There's only 1,750 in the world. It's the first VeVe set ever released. It's a first edition, doesn't have the FA tag like the Todd, but there's only, the scarcity of it makes the price drive up, obviously. Only 1,750 people, hypothetically, in the world can own the entire set. I'm sure there's people who own doubles. There's whales out there that probably picked up 10 Rizzos, you know what I mean? So I think the price jump is justified. It's at 25.
That's a
But
great point. It really is a great point, saying that you only 1,750 people can own the whole set from
yep.
technically VeVe's first ever, NFT space. So, and there's been a lot of talk about obviously other NFT platforms coming out with Solana and other different types of obviously blockchains trying to, obviously use their licenses and vendors to put out more NFTs. But where I'm going with this is that VeVe really has the contracts and the licenses for the top dogs, right? When you're talking about Disney and Batman and Superman, these ones are going to be ones that are considered blue chip in the entire space. You may have your Bored Ape Yacht Club, you may have a couple of other ones that I'm sure people are familiar with, even though we mainly cover VeVe. But those ones, are going to kind of be fads and go in and out here and there. VeVe is really planning to make this a longevity type play. So having these types of NFTs coming out in the first few months or years, by all means, is going to be absolutely huge. What I wanted to touch on personally was the Coca-Cola NFT, because that's one that I've held. Obviously, I got that on drop, which I'm very fortunate for. And the resale went up to about 1,700 gems the other day. And I was sitting there wondering why I was at about 1.2, 1.1 as far as a secret rare. I thought that was a little bit underpriced. But as far as the significance of it, I think that the big significance going into next year is going to be that they came out with the snow winter set. And that's kind of obviously symbolic of what Coca-Cola is in their prior commercials back into the 1900s. A lot of it was winter themed. I think that coming down the road that there is going to be some type of summer drop for Coca-Cola, because they're seeing how much press and how much recognition Mickey is getting, how much Batman is getting, Superman's getting. A lot of, superheroes and comics that really haven't been prevalent in our generation have been really, really resurfacing. And that's really important to know, because it's starting to stick with the younger generations going forward, which is what they want for their brands. So I think that Coca-Cola, to kind of, draw into that point, that they're going to see that, the Steamboat Willie, the first black and white Batmans, they're all creating this kind of stigma around people. If they're able to jump in that type of stigma, they can create some real brand presence going forward. So I think that right now, getting a Coca-Cola, or at least a set, I don't know if you agree with me on that, EJ, looking at that kind of set with the value going forward, because of the type of brand, how do I explain it? Type of brand sticking, the type of brand representation
it's
that
a proven brand. Coca-Cola is a proven brand throughout history. Since it's been made. I don't remember when it was, the 40s, the 30s. When did Coca-Cola come out? I have no idea. 1929. I think 1929.
Was
no,
it?
that's Mickey.
Give me I'm gonna give it to you right now. Give me a second.
We had props. I was looking up too many things. I got dates.
Coca-Cola. I know Coca-Cola hasn't missed a dividend, or was either a dividend or their sales number has never increased or decreased in the last like 60 years. It's some crazy number.
What they could do, a lot of other companies can't though, Freddie, is the utility that they could provide if you own the whole set, is they could send you a case of whatever type of Coca-Cola product you want to your house. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's very true. Like, their utility is so big. Like, but no, yeah. So they came out January 29th, 1892, Atlanta, Georgia. So 1892, that's pre-World War.
That was way up. That was way up.
Well, no, I mean, you weren't off. You were just, that it just doesn't even seem like that would be the time, but that's crazy.
I just want to touch on why I made certain purchases for everyone. The Batmans that I purchased, I did that right after the whole season 1 first set pumped. The immediate pump, they kept going, but the initial pump on all of them, being the Joe Mad, the Becky Cloonan, the Todd, and the RZA. So I looked throughout that whole season 1. Every Batman black and white set came out in season 1, and I saw a lot of them were undervalued, in my opinion. There was only 9,000 of a certain one, 5,500 of another, and they were sitting at around 200 or even under 200. And I thought, people aren't going to be able to afford that first season set. You know what I mean? It's a $40,000 set now. So some people aren't going to have the gems and funds to get that. So I was like, people are going to start getting the other Batmans because they still love Batman and they want a Batman, and these are affordable. So I thought a pump was imminent, and the exact, I think an hour after I purchased the Jason Fabak Batman, he jumped all the way up to 800. So I didn't sell him. Obviously, I was holding, but it was just incredible how he was 360 and then immediately, boom. There was a ripple effect of people buying.
And a lot of people are starting to notice that now, especially in the community and stuff. Like there's people on this thing day and night now because it's getting that type of user base. And when they see when somebody picks the that's literally you. I know. So looking at that, going forward, a little tip here and there, is going to set off a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers in this market. So
Mhm.
I guess going forward, what our this is not financial advice. This is all our opinion. Please don't take any of this to heart. We're here just expressing our thoughts. But
Yep.
going forward, what we do want to stress is the Fantastic Four woman drop, which is coming out tomorrow. I want to say, am I correct on that?
Yeah, it is. It is coming out tomorrow.
So, I mean, I'm not too sure on the significance on that. We're gonna probably drop a video on that drop, after that. But what EJ was telling me prior to this was to obviously get one of the NFTs that was associated with that. I'm trying to remember which one it was. Which one were you telling me
It was
about?
the Invisible Woman first appearance of the Marvel Mighties. It saw a significant jump. I believe it was about $40 at one point, and then as soon as the Invisible Woman that's coming out tomorrow was announced, it went all the way up to about 80 to 84. I don't know what it's sitting at now. I haven't looked today, but I could see that. I could see the FA going for at least $120 within the next, possibly tomorrow after the drop.
Yeah, because that thing is going to be significant because just of the FA. And one thing you were telling me just as far as your portfolio and what's been going on with the value, because obviously ours have both been skyrocketing. I actually just reached the 5-figure mark as well with the NFTs that I'm holding. A lot of us, we think about the NFTs we want to hold for passion, but EJ made a great point that you got to look for first season, you got to look for FA. I think those are the two big things going forward. If you can kind of keep your eyes on those as far as, obviously wanting your preference and what you're willing to hold or what you're willing to actually have as art, looking at those two things are really going to mean a lot going forward. So what is it? Is there going to be a season 4 coming up soon, or are we still in season 3?
That's a good question. I think it's ev. They don't have a timeline of when they change the seasons. I don't think. I got to look into that. That's a good question. I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah. We'll bring that up next video because I think that's important to know too. This is really the first season, or even though it is the third season, it's kind of the first season that everybody's really understood what's been going on. And I
Oh,
think, yeah, so VeVe came out last year and they're already on season 3. So it can't be on an annual basis. It has to be on some type of maybe licensure or whatever you want to call it going forward. So we'll definitely touch on that. But thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to be around next couple weeks, months, giving you guys some fresh content.
Freddie,
Yeah, one more thing. Go ahead.
let me touch on one thing before we go.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to give a shout out to the app Vault Value. I'm in no way, shape, or form, neither is Freddie, affiliated with this application, but they somebody in the VeVe community created an app where you could plug in your collectibles and it adds up the total value. And I just think that's awesome because looking at the actual VeVe app and scrolling through the prices and trying to calculate it yourself is a little tedious. So that's it, Freddie. Sorry for cutting you off. I wanted to throw that out.
Absolutely. And, I'll be happy to show the group, your numbers here, the proof of your actual
Hey,
figures going on there, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm around 10,000 gems, 11,000 gems, which is amazing too. So, we're happy to do that. And, we'll talk to you guys soon. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
peace.